everybody, welcome to a very different kind of Workspace Wednesday. Here I am in the wild outdoors. And it's because I have a very special guest with us today for whom this is his natural habitat. He loves the outdoors, he loves the wild animals and makes a very conscientious effort to take care of them and protect them in Goa today. He is one of Goa's most well-known and probably loved animal rescuers, snake rescuers, Bene Lantau. Welcome, Ben.
Hey, pleasure meeting you, man.
Good to meet you as well.
Good morning, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to meet you.
We spoke a while back.
Yeah, we spoke a while back and I've seen so much of your stuff on YouTube. And now, congratulations on having this, your own show on Nat Geo.
Thank you. I hope it helps the main stars, which are the snakes.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to be known. Like, people know black mambas, but they don't know a rat snake or a cobra. Right? So it's super cool.
But I think you're doing a fantastic job to bring the awareness that is much needed in Goa to not just snakes but wildlife at large.
Thank you. Just try. We just try as much as we can.
And also a special mention to Louise, who's unfortunately couldn't make it today, but your partner in protecting Goa's wildlife. So welcome to Workspace Wednesday. Let's go on and have a bit of a chat as we walk through this terrain.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Then how is it that you're so comfortable with these outdoors, man?
It's something about nature.
What is it about nature?
It draws you to it. And especially when you're in such a big rat race since your youth, with school, college, working, you kind of reach a point where you want to chase peace.
You want to chase peace?
Yeah.
Okay.
And nature is the only place you can find it eventually. Yeah, nature gives you a lot of peace.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know of any other place or any other thing that could give you peace like nature does.
Okay.
And whether we like it or not, all human beings are looking for peace.
Yeah.
But in the wrong places.
Okay.
The sooner you know that nature gives you peace, that's where you will be. And that's the reason I like to spend a lot of time in nature.
Yeah.
Besides the quiet and the sounds of nature and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very, very peaceful.
I'm sure you had to start somewhere getting comfortable with, not everybody has an affinity to being able to go and, get snakes and things of that sort. It's like intimidates the most of us. Where did you start your journey?
See, I believe that all fears have been instilled in us. Whether it's the fear of darkness or the fear of snakes or the fear of insects. We're not born with too many fears. What I know is we're born with two fears. One is of falling and one is of loud sound. Instinctively, kids are scared of that. But everything else is subconsciously or consciously transferred onto us.
Got it.
Now, I was lucky that in my youth, I was not introduced to these fears. These fears were not there in me because my parents did not say, okay, you need to be scared of a snake. However, if the snake was seen, people around me used to kill the snake.
Got it.
Yeah, so nobody used to go to catch it, but the fear was not there. However, the empathy and respect wasn't there to this animal as well.
Okay.
So what I added in my life is just empathy and respect towards the creature that was not feared already. But when I was 9 or 10, I remember it was the first time I caught a snake. I said, I've seen so many snakes being killed around, and people used to even call me to kill snakes around. And I saw that this snake is actually harmless.
But were you able at 10 to identify whether it was a poisonous or a non-poisonous snake?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So
because I had no access to books at that time, because nobody really thought books on snakes is important for a kid, and neither was the internet. So I used to do it like catch the head very, very, I used to cause stress to the snake into myself, catch the head, open the mouth, check if there are fangs or not, and know if it's venomous or non-venomous snake.
Okay.
Then eventually I started catching snakes which were venomous for certain, but I did not know the species. I remember the first venomous snake I caught was a Russell's viper.
Wow, he really went for the kill.
Yeah. And that was like a massive hissing noise. I remember it was in the dark. It was in the dark. One evening I was coming cycling from tuitions, and we had a big yard. And in this yard there was something that crossed my path of my cycle, and it was making a loud hissing noise. So instinctively I got off the cycle, I called out to my mom. Not like my mom was super supportive of it, but at that time she did not know better. So there were no lights in the property, nothing. And this snake went along the boundary wall.
Got it.
And the only way I knew how to catch it is pin its head down. So I had no stick, so I took a branch which was dry, which was risky. It could snap anytime, and I put it on its head and went to catch the neck. And because it was so dark, my mom was literally standing with one of the coconut shells and a candle in it to throw light upon me.
So you actually went for a Russell's viper in pitch darkness?
Without knowing what it is.
Wow.
I just knew it was dangerous because it was sitting a lot. And I was really, really young. I was maybe 10 or 11 years at that time. So anyway, I caught it, we put it in a bottle. The next day I went by bus to the forest department, I gave it there, and then that's when they said like, seriously, did you catch it by hand? Are you stupid? What did you do? And I asked them, what snake is it? I thought it was some cottonmouth or something that I saw in a book, on a magazine, and they said, no, it's a Russell viper, people die of it all over India, blah, blah, blah. And then I knew it was serious what I'm doing. So then I said that might as well I start learning about local species of snakes instead of risking myself and the snake safety. And also it's not the best thing to do. Free handling a snake is never advisable. I never advise it. And whatever I do, I think so most people can do.
Got it.
But the people that want to do it should do it with the right intention. Everyone does not do it for the right intention, and that's when it gets risky, and then that's when it gets really bad for the snake and for the snake catcher or snake rescuer, as you call it.
Got it.
Yeah, the intention should be always clear.
What's been your most challenging rescue, Ben?
A lot of people have asked me this question, and I really don't have an answer to it because every rescue is so unique and so different. I always respect the snake.
No matter how many rescues you've done and how much of knowledge you have, you never take anything for granted. You always treat the rescue like a brand new experience with the utmost respect for the animal.
Yes. I can tell you how I go about the rescue as well, which is interesting. But yeah, every rescue is a new rescue for me. I need to place my protocols in place and rescue it safely. So the longest rescue would be for me would be the one with where a cobra was crossing a road which had some melting tar that was lying at the side, and it went into that melting tar, and it was fully covered of tar. I mean, including tar in the nostrils, tar over the eyes, tar was sealing its mouth shut. So that took me a good 15 to 16 hours to release it from the tar, and then I had to keep it for observation for another couple of hours before release. So that took a lot of time, and especially when you had tar in the mouth, on the eyelids, clearing the nostrils immediately for air. That was quite tense because I knew that the snake was nearly dying when I received the snake, and it could have easily died during the process. And also that when you're working so close to the fangs, you have to take out tar from the lips and from the mouth and from the nostrils. You're very close to the snake's fangs, and every time you're close to a snake's fang, you're at risk. You're the higher risk of being bitten by the snake unintentionally, of course. And just the sheer amount of time that rescue took me was I
watched that actually on YouTube.
Yeah, it's there.
And I was amazed by that rescue. In fact, that was when I just looked at you from a completely different light. I was like, this guy is unbelievable, to have that level of empathy.
I was lucky that people were around to film it, but it's a very common thing. So animals getting stuck in tar, birds especially, or in these glue traps. It's very, very common, in fact. So when I go for a rescue call, my main objective is to keep the people safe. The first thing I go and I locate the snake, making sure that the people are always behind me or behind my shoulder. I see where the snake is, I identify the snake. Then I build a periphery. It's a imaginary periphery. But I tell people you'll need to stay away. Stay away from me, from this hot zone, which I call it, or the rescue zone. And if they have any sticks in their hands, it's a very, very important thing for me to notice. If they have the sticks in their hands, I need to tell them, drop your sticks. I am here, I will take care of the snake. You don't need the stick any longer in your hand. Because I've had instances like I'm maneuvering the snake, guiding it towards a bag, and then the snake moves under my legs. And I know it moves under my legs. I can turn around, pick it up gradually. But it happened once that the snake moved under my legs, and by the time it reached behind somebody with a stick, they hit the snake and killed it. I was furious, and this happened when I was young, and I was super angry. I can still remember the anger. So I keep people away. If they have any sticks in their hands, they need to drop the sticks. And then I go for the snake. The snake is generally a very easy thing to do. You keep a bag or keep a pipe leading to a bag, keep a place for the snake to hide, because all the snake wants to do now that it's cornered, it has people around or dogs around, it wants to hide. And because it's exposed, that's the reason you found the snake in the first place. So now you need to give it a place to hide. And this place could be a bag, or it could be a kind of box or whatever. So generally I use a bag which has a opening in the front, and I keep it in a certain location where I feel it's a little dark and it's a kind of guided path to that bag naturally. And then I kind of agitate the snake just a bit so that it feels like, okay, now I need to go and hide. I don't want the snake to get aggressive or defensive rather. People call snakes aggressive. Snakes aren't aggressive. They're always defensive, right? So now I don't want the snake to be more scared, because if the snake is scared, that's when it's going to be dangerous for me as a handler, right? And it's also adding stress to the snake unnecessarily. So I do it very gently. I touch the snake a little bit to kind of get it to move, and then once it starts moving, it wants to hide from from me. And there my bag is already ready. So it just follows the path I've created, an imaginary path, maybe with some obstacles.
So you're guiding the
Snake and it enters the bag. That's the best way. They have this term called Zagetsu Sorop.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that actually.
So let's talk about that as well. Like they say this Zagetsu Sorop. So what it really means, earlier I should fight against it. No, it's a myth, it's a myth, it's a myth. But is it a myth? Zagetsu Sorop just means a snake belonging to that area.
Correct.
And why is it a myth? It's not a myth. Okay. Everything belongs to a certain area.
Yeah.
We all have our own home. So the snake will consider a place its home as long as there is food, there is water, and there is shelter. You remove one of these elements, the snake will move on. Now in villages what happens, they get their food, they know where the rats are, they know where you're dumping out garbage, so they know where their food is coming from, and they know where to hide in the night or in the daytime depending on what snake it is. So they're comfortable there. And villages, there are an ample amount of space for them to find food, shelter and water. It's clearly available. So the snake is happy to live there for the lifespan of itself, right? So it will live there its entire life and it will not harm anyone. And there's a very important reason why it does not harm anyone. But people say that if it's a Zagetsu Sorop, it does not harm anyone, which is absolutely true. Yeah. When does the snake bite you? In defense.
Correct.
When does it bite you in defense? Only if by chance it comes too close to your habitat and you stamp it or you go to lift a log of wood and it's under the log of wood.
Yeah.
Now what happens to this same Zagetsu Sorop? He knows that environment. He knows the movement of people and their pets.
So he stays
away from it.
Got it.
Yeah. So the snake knows your habits. So the snake is consciously avoiding you, and hence Zagetsu Sorops generally don't bite. That's very true. Now what happens is, you go and you remove this snake. Every snake is a Zagetsu Sorop for me. They belong to that territory.
Yeah.
We just identify one or two.
Yeah.
It's not only a cobra, it could be a python, it could be a rat snake, it could be a Russell Viper.
Yeah.
Now what we do is we go and we remove this Zagetsu Sorop from this place. And what happens is we relocate it. By relocating the snake, we're putting him in a new territory where he doesn't know where his food, shelter and hiding places are.
So it's very traumatic for the snake as well.
Very traumatic. It's causing imbalance to that environment because you're increasing the number of predators there.
Yeah.
You're causing imbalance here because you're again decreasing the number of predators.
Yeah.
The snakes are decreasing, rodents might increase. At the same time, what happens is another snake will come to occupy this territory because you're going to have excessive rats, for example, and another snake will come to occupy this territory. Now the new snake that comes into this territory is not going to be very familiar with your movements.
Correct.
Your paths. Like if a human being is taking this path every day, this new snake is not going to be very familiar with it. He'll probably come there, sit on your path and start hunting from there.
Yeah.
And that's when an accident can happen.
Correct.
So it's always good to have snakes that have been around you to continue staying around you. Yeah? That really makes a big difference.
So how does one start the awareness and education cycle that all of this amazing insight and wisdom you've given us today? I think really needs to start in like places like schools or homes,
Absolutely.
So how can you take some of that wisdom and bring it to kids in schools and homes wherein the awareness sets in very early in life so that a lot of the fears can kind of be addressed? Is there like a plan in place?
So I do these talks and awareness programs in schools, colleges, public gatherings, and now thanks to the TV program that's happening, it's happening to the masses as well.
Yeah.
But why is this fear there? Like for example, if a nature friendly person takes a child out to a wildlife sanctuary or to a place like this, and you tell a child like, you can hear that bird, it's chirping so beautifully. It's a bulbul or a robin or whatever, it's a beautiful bird. At the same time they say, please do not run in the bushes. A snake will bite you. What if you're at home and you just don't want your kids to go out in the dark? You want them to be in your control all the time. And you say, don't play in the night outside, snakes will bite you.
So
do not play in the
that
grass.
fear very early
When
in
I
life.
ask people, why are you exactly scared of snakes? They say because they bite. Like how do you know that I don't bite? Right? Why are you not scared of me? But so this fear has been instilled. Everyone is telling people or kids when they're growing up that snakes bite, and everyone says I'm scared of snakes because they bite. I mean, road accidents are higher. I mean, the amount of people that die in Goa because of road accidents is huge compared to the people that die of a snake bite in Goa. But they still give a child at the age of 16 a bike and say, okay, go on the roads. I mean, you can live or die, but if there's a snake around, you'll call somebody, please take it away. I'm scared that my child's life is at risk. So we come to the next part. Like once fear is removed because of knowledge, you give people knowledge and you remove the fear.